Hey everybody, it's Robin Young again. Today I'm going to talk about why co-ops are quietly redefining business and could revolutionize research. If you think co-ops are just for hippie food markets or folksy farmer alliances, think again. Some of the most enduring, resilient, and quietly successful businesses in the world are cooperatives. You might not hear about them on CNBC, but the numbers speak volumes and they paint a picture of a smarter, stronger business model. Yes, we're talking about businesses that routinely outlive their stock market and shareholder owned counterparts by decades, some even by half a century. It's not, and by the way, it's not even close. According to the Berkeley Economic Review from 2022, in 1 year, co ops fail at just 10% rate compared to a brutal 60 to 80% for traditional businesses. By year five, 80% of co ops are still standing versus less than half, about 44% of regular businesses. And there's more. Another study by Montero and Stewart in 2015 found that 97% of co ops survived more than 5 years, 84% more than 20 years, and an eye popping 63% survived 50 years or more. That's compared to 20% of the traditional businesses. Now, that second study was out of Europe, and that first study was out of the US, by the way. But these numbers have one basic conclusion. When it comes to cooperatives, it's not just about longevity, it's near immortality in business terms. So, what makes co ops so durable? Well, I can tell you, it's not about just good vibes or member meetings. Co ops are structurally different. And let's break down some of those unfair advantages. First of all, the customer is the company. In a co-op, people who use the product or service called producers consumers own the company. That means their incentives are fully aligned. There's no more Wall Street boardroom decisions that would make decisions contrary to member interest in favor of quarterly earnings. Just look at dairy farmers. Instead of undercutting each other, they form co-ops to set fair prices. The same could be true for life science researchers who currently hand over their data and publications to corporate-owned journals for free or worse, for a fee, only to see it locked behind paywalls. With a research co-op, researchers would set the terms of their data and study value and finally get paid for it. Number two, I call this built-in business wisdom. In traditional startups, a single impulsive founder can tank an entire company with a bad call. In co-ops, power is spread across many members, so making any wild or irrational decisions are much less likely. Yes, it'll take longer to move, but when a co-op does, it's usually in the right direction. The third thing is there is distributed risk, which equals greater resilience. So co-ops are not reliant on a few key shareholders or one source of capital. If one member exits, to meet their Nobel Prize in the sky, the business continues unfazed. The model is anti-fragile by design. The fourth thing is purpose-driven profits. Now, co-ops aren't just about surviving, they empower their members. So every member has skin in the game, has a voice in decision making, and a reason to stick around. That fosters a culture of purpose and unity and sustainability. In the case of a research co-op, that collective purpose is to improve the global healthcare and medicine environment, which is no small potatoes. The fifth point is there is an IRS approved tax hack. Let's talk taxes. Co-ops pay less, a lot less. Take Land O'Lakes, a $17 billion dairy giant co-op. In 2023, it posted 258 million in profits and paid just 0.13%. 0.13% in taxes. Why? Because it returned 337 million to its members. So they returned 337 and their profits 258. In US tax law, co-op patronage payments, which is what members receive, are not taxed like traditional corporate profits. And the translation to all that is more cash in the hands of the people who actually do the work. Okay, I know you're thinking, okay, Robin, but are co-ops fun? Well, yes. Joining a co-op lights a fire of collaboration and independence and mutual respect. You're not another cog in the capitalist machine. You're part of something that exists because of you. That breeds creativity and trust and long-term thinking. It's no wonder mega successful co-ops like TIAA Cref, which many of you probably belong to, as I do, has more than $1 trillion in assets and has stood the test of time. Co-ops are not flukes. They're proof that the co-op model, the cooperative association model, works. Now, why should you care? Why should those of us who work in the life science research community care? Because life science research is precisely the kind of field, is precisely what this field we're in needs. We're locked in a system now where data producers, researchers don't own their data, where publishers profit from free labor, where access to knowledge is restricted by paywalls, where funding is competitive, sparse, and sometimes political. Research Cooperative could flip that script. It would let researchers price and publish their own work, pool data, lower costs, drive collaboration, and return profits back to the member scientists. And yes, based on every piece of evidence we have, a cooperative association of life science researchers from around the world would not only work, it would thrive.